So let's talk about, should you buy or should you wait in 2022 real estate market? I know this is a very confusing market. It is not easy to make decision, especially right now in June 2022. And it's no harm to wait a little bit. That's my personal advice. I do see, a lot of people who are even my own buyers, they have started to think right now. And I advise the same thing to my buyers. You could wait for 1 or 2 months. The best time would start maybe July and August, because that's when you would see a little bit of more inventory coming up. Prices are going down. However, it's not going below market value. But what was happening before that, I want to give you a little bit more back end picture so you understand what is happening at this time or what is going to happen in this time. And that's based on that you can decide, should you buy or should you wait? Everybody's situation is different. I hope this video would give you a lot of information. Stay till the end, and yes, give me your opinion. Okay, this is not about just my opinion in this channel. You may become, active buyer and going through a lot of knowledge in this market. Of course, it's all about the predictability. Everybody would have their own opinion. There is nothing right or wrong. However, everyone see things differently, with their depends on their experience and how much active are they in the market. So let's start this video right now. Welcome to my channel, Moving to Florida Now. My name is Komal and I'm a local real estate agent in Florida area. So in this video, I want to make it very straight, where any of the buyers can make a decision or get some knowledge out of this. This is not something, I'm talking in a way, this is what going to happen, but this is my opinion, what could happen. So again, you do need to do your own research. Maybe you're watching this video, part of your research that could help you, because things what I'm going to talk about is just not from the internet. This is based on my experience being a real estate agent. We have a small team in Florida area and we help a lot of buyers and sellers actively every month. So we have gone through the back end experiences. So what actually happens if we are on seller side, what actually happens we are on a buyer side. Every month has given us a different experience since this pandemic boom started. So that's what I'm going to talk about. It's not just the internet based research from the different articles. So this video would be really helpful for you guys. Again, feel free to, a lot of my friends on other areas, like let's say I was talking to one of my friends in Austin area, they are seeing some different changes than what we are seeing in Florida area. I would love to hear from you guys in the comment section, and that will help other buyers to make a decision, should they wait or should they buy. First of all, we go through what's happening right now. Let me just recap what has happened already. So if you see the last few years after this pandemic boom, the major problem was the inventory issue. I mean, it is right now still inventory issue. So especially in Florida market, we never experienced the bidding wars. Never. I have never seen like 20 offers in one property. And now it was so crazy. The areas like Sunrise or Plantation, those are not even that much famous. Still, almost every area experienced the bidding wars. However, in the very famous areas like Parkland, Weston, there was more crazy wars than other areas. So the percentage of going over asking has been different. I talked to my colleagues in different states. They were experiencing like thousands of dollars going over asking. That's something in Florida we didn't experience in average areas. So in a luxury market or going to the like a very great school zone market, that's where some, going over asking few $1,000s up, but not like crazy like 150,000 or 200,000 over the price. That's something we haven't much experienced, but that's still kind of where crazy, especially for local buyers. It was shocking to see this multiple offers and people were refusing initially to go into the bidding wars. Like they will not even put an offer for that. The psychology was like they were not, like especially locals, they were not ready for it. So it slowly things changed. The people started to understand. The attraction was the interest rate, because interest rate went down even below 3% at some point. There was a time I saw like even 2.5%. That was like much lower than even refinancing the property. So that was the main attraction for the lot of buyers in 2020 and 2021. But now we see that it's been changing because the Fed has announced or gave a warning even in February, March that they will be increasing the interest rates, and they already started doing that. So as per the June, it's been more than 6% for 30 years. So a lot of people are questioning now, what should we do? The prices are higher and interest rates are higher. Should we buy or should we wait? So this is my opinion. First of all, I don't feel that market is going to crash that soon. Again, nobody knows the next 5-year future. Okay, did we know the Ukraine war was coming? Did we know this inflation also? Kind of one of the reason was this war. If you go more deeper into, especially the Florida market also affected because this Ukraine war, Russia, has a lot of hold in a Miami market. So we saw a lot of changes happen because of the war also. And those kind of things are not in our control. Like we don't know our next 5-year future. But something we know is what Fed plans to do or what stock market is doing, and those things you can a little bit predict as per on your experience. If you ask someone in the stock market, my husband does the stock market, his opinion could be different than my opinion. He even doesn't believe in too much into investing in tangible things. However, his mindset is totally different. So everybody's mindset depends on their understanding. It's different. That's why I'm open to hear from you guys in a comment that what you think about it, because that will bring up new opinion and new things where this is more like a discussion. So in my opinion, as a real estate agent, what we are experiencing in a back end, I still experience the bidding wars. Just last week, we have put in like 7 offers. We won only 3 offers from our buyers. So it is still kind of percentage wise still lower, because of the bidding wars, the unpredictability is still there where the prices are going up. However, we were experiencing crazy, going prices above appraisal values way higher. That something is reducing. A lot of expectations, from the sellers are coming on the ground in reality, and that's why the number of properties prices are getting reduced. However, it's not going below market value, but it is getting reduced. So my first advice is, if you do not have to buy right away, if it's not mandatory for you, because everybody's situation is different, then you could wait for 1 or 2 months, because this market, the interest rate, how it brought up the changes, that can definitely reduce the numbers. Okay, I'm not saying going to the crash again, but it's reducing the numbers, reducing the expectation. So the numbers, asking price is nothing in this market. Asking price is a seller's expectation. Asking price doesn't mean the property is valued at XYZ value. So reducing the numbers, what I'm seeing is most of them are overpriced properties, not the market value. So if someone has priced correctly, market value, those properties, we are still experiencing the bidding wars. So when I list the property, that's what I advise to my sellers, that do not list overpriced, because overpriced is the stupid decision any of the seller can make right now. See, buyers have to calculate a lot of things now. It's not just the down payment. It is the now interest rate going up, the monthly affordability. That's something the buyers has to go through the numbers while putting the offers. So saying that, definitely the sellers who are selling the properties, the over expectation has been reduced or getting reduced there. Again, it depends on the location. For example, if you go in certain cities where high demand is there, still very low inventory. Some of the cities has only 2 weeks of inventory. Just imagine having the 2 weeks of inventory, how many buyers should be in to market to balance. The buyers are still there. They're still looking at the properties. They are still watching what the market is doing. If the opportunity comes, people are grasping that. Not everybody is waiting. So this advice, waiting, I'm giving you just if you are not in urgency mode. However, my another opinion is you could never stop looking at the house. You never know where the deal is. When this market changed, even Corona started, pandemic started, that time that was my best advice to a lot of my buyers. Do not see this as, because people were expecting it's going to crash, when the pandemic started. So this kind of pause came even that time. So we saw in May and June, almost 16% application went down. So a lot of people are in that confusion. That could be one opportunity for you. You never know which area you are looking at. If you find the opportunity, then this is the time to buy. I told you before, the interest rate is a subjective number. So right now interest rate is higher, and that's what bring the prices lower. That's like, Fed is trying to balance things here in the market. If you just imagine, last year the prices have gone almost 25% to 26% in a Florida area. That's a crazy number. Median sale price, if you see, it's been gone so higher in the Florida area, and that's why the affordability has been a question at this moment. Before, when I was making the video, I always emphasizing cost of living. Now I understand that could not be the primary point for anybody to move to Florida, because cost of living has been definitely increased in last 2 to 3 years. Compared to some other states, still it's low. Like if you compare to New York or California, it's still low. However, comparatively, this is not the very cheap state anymore in Florida. There was a time you could buy in a less than 500,000 price, you could buy a beautiful 4-bedroom plus with a pool house. But now the time has changed. So the affordability definitely right now already become a question because the prices went up so crazy. So just imagine even this year goes to 25% up. That will kill everybody. I mean, it's already inflation is there. That's not amazing news, I feel. So this Feds, like that's the only way to, I think so, balancing the market. At this moment, I was predicting this is long time. The Fed would increase the interest rate at some point because they cannot keep it lower and lower, and the prices will go up and up. So at this time, maybe it's an opportunity. Just buy and don't worry about the interest rate. Just see the affordability. Can you afford right now or not? That could be the question. Next 2 to 3 years, the interest rate may go down. You will find the opportunity to refinance a property. A lot of people have done in 80s, 90s that time. Like if you see the old time, the interest rates were like 9%, 10%. A lot of people have bought houses in that high interest rates. Of course, at some point, the Fed made it a lot of changes, and it kind of became more easier to fulfill the American dream, buying a house. But now things have changed, of course, as we know, and it's not amazing news. Honestly, I'm not in favor of this inflation at all. But at the same time, if something doesn't stop this, and then it's going higher and higher, it's always real estate is a roller coaster. There is never a steady market, and that's what I always say. There is no perfect market to buy or sell. It's always opportunities. You just have to see the opportunities. So if you're a buyer, I feel don't stop looking. But do not make a plan like, oh, you have to buy. Don't go crazy with the offers. Like before, let's say 6 months ago, if you come to the advice with me, like bidding wars, the number would be different, like, to win over the bidding wars. But now it's totally different. So the numbers you are putting very conservatively when you are putting the offers, because still bidding wars are there. Still we are losing for our buyers because people are there to pay more higher numbers if they like the property. And also another advice from me is for the buyers is do not be picky. That's as I have been telling since this pandemic started. This is not the perfect market to buy a perfect home, like a dream home. This is a market to buy something to replace your rents. Okay, I'm not saying you go crazy and buy your dream house in this market, but you could buy something which you can afford. That's number one thing. And if you are, let's say, selling a property, then could be the balance. You could go for the dream home, since you're going to make the money in a sell market too, because this is not going to yet change right away the selling market to buyer's market. A lot of people have started talking about, oh, it's going to the buyer market. It cannot go very, very fast. Of course, we see the fast slowdown, but at some point people will realize, or the lenders will find the ways to make it creative loans. Like, one of the investment property we closed is like we made the arm like 10 years arm. So that way you have a less interest rates, and you could, save something in interest rates. And in the future, let's say you may have to bear the interest rate for next 3 years. And after that, some kind of change will definitely happen in interest rates. Interest rates, like if you see the history, cannot stay too long in higher numbers. I'm not saying it would go to 2.5 like it was in a pandemic, but it could go into the affordable numbers where it was a 4% before pandemic. So that's kind of, I think it's situation to situation. If you're selling property, definitely buy. Okay, do not get afraid of buying, but don't put a deadline on your head, because you should have some plan B until you buy the property. Because if you put a deadline, then it could be, you may have to go still aggressive to get the property. And because being inventory is still low, you do have to put the higher numbers to win over. Otherwise, you won't get the property. So I feel like you still keep looking. It's not like you should stop. This could be the opportunity where everybody's thinking, putting the question mark, you may grab the great property. Every negotiation happens depends on the seller situation. So some seller situation could be different than other. So and you won't know until you go actually into this, right? If you put an offer, if you see properties, then only you would know exactly what's going on their end. And you would not know until you go through things, right? If you're just looking on Zillow and Realtor.com, just the numbers and just observing that way, then you may not find the perfect property. You do have to take some actions, like look at the property physically, work with the great realtors, and who gives you the honest advice. Like people who do not believe in transaction, those people will definitely give you correct advice. So if you don't keep a deadline in your head, definitely you can find a good property in this market, and that will match your monthly numbers. If you want to know the national, how the real estate market is, what is happening right now, then I have another video where I explain about what Fed is doing at this moment to control the market. So watch out that video. That will give you a little bit of general knowledge about what is happening, especially on a mortgage side. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in my next video.